My name is Michael Iacobucci. I've been with Vogel for going on 35 years. My primary functions are purchasing and pricing our product line, both on the residential and hospitality side. Master schedule, and it's centered onto schedule with a target date for completion. From there, depending on the raw material and lead times, we will order our frames, we'll order our fabrics. When the raw materials start coming in, it'll go to cutting, and the idea is that everything comes together and falls into the projected timeline, or better. There's a number of frames that we order from outside frame vendors. We basically build the first one or provide drawings of the first one. They'll build the frame to our specification. There's a number of frames that we also build in-house in our small frame operation. When we customize frames, we typically build them in-house. Even if we're not changing a frame, every order that's placed through the Vogel line is a custom order because the customer's choosing their fabric, wood finish where it applies, they're choosing their decorative nail option where it applies. So you can say everything that we make is a custom order. For precision and efficiency, plotting the best yield of the material, the CNC is the way to go. Sometimes there's a leather application where leather could be a little trickier. Depending on how clean a hide it is, we could sometimes get a better yield cutting it by hand, but for the most part it's the CNC. Every unit that we build has some element of sewing involved. Some more, some less. If you have a sofa or a chair that has a loose seat cushion, a loose back cushion, arms, sewing requirements much more. If you take a chair like a dining room chair, for example, which is a simple tight seat, tight back application, there may be a little bit of piping to sew, there may be a little seam to sew, much faster through the sewing process. And then there's some applications where there's a pullover slip-on application, the whole unit is sewn together and it's slipped on. We will use springs wherever we can. We feel it's a better support than webbing, but there are some limitations with some of the frames that don't lend themselves to have springs. You have to have a certain amount of, we'll call it meat, in the frame to allow for springs. Our seat cushions are all minimum 2.5 pound density foam, which is higher than a lot of manufacturers. As far as I'm concerned, that's the most important part of the unit. When you sit down, you want to feel, wow, this is comfortable. The lifespan is also much longer, of a better quality cushion. No matter what you use in a seat cushion, with use, especially heavy use, that they're reversed, like a mattress. It is foam no matter what. It's not a piece of wood. In case of feathers, it needs to be fluffed up. It's just the way it is. We have a standard compression, but we also offer a softer or firmer, depending on what the customer wants. We also have what we call Ultralux, which is a foam core with a feather envelope wrap. Most of our back cushions are either feather or feather poly blend. Every work order has a checklist. Cushion fit, wood finish where it applies, nails, all of the things. And if there's a problem, it goes back to wherever it has to be addressed. Better to take an extra couple of minutes and do it right than rush it. And that's pretty much the theme throughout the operation. There are people here who've been doing this for decades, and I guess time is the most important factor. I've yet to see a machine that could do this operation. I think upholstery is an industry that there are certain elements of the operation that could have a degree of automation, but at the end of the day, when it comes to dressing that frame, it needs the human element. There's a cushion border that has piping, for example, and it's a matching fabric, just that all the fabric just lines up, so stripes line up with the piping and the band and the top of the cushion. In a nutshell, attention to detail.